Carl Jung, one of the most influential psychologists of the modern era, believed that true fulfillment comes from individuation, the process of becoming one's authentic self. He explored the depths of the unconscious, the power of archetypes, and the journey of self-discovery. In this video, we'll explore Jung's profound insights and how they can guide you toward becoming who you were always meant to be. Carl Jung believed that the journey of individuation begins with a call, an inner stirring that signals there is more to life than the surface identity we present to the world. This call is often subtle at first, appearing as a vague dissatisfaction, a feeling of being lost, or an unshakable sense that something is missing. For some, it arrives through dreams, strange synchronicities, or moments of deep introspection. For others, it comes as a crisis, an event that shatters their current way of being and forces them to look inward. This is the moment when the deeper self begins to emerge, beckoning the individual to explore the unknown territories of their psyche. Jung saw the unconscious as a vast and hidden realm, filled with symbols, forgotten memories, and unexplored potentials. While we often believe we are in full control of our lives, he argued that much of our behavior is governed by unconscious forces. Society conditions us to wear masks, which Jung called personas, to fit in and gain approval. While necessary for social life, the danger arises when we become overly identified with these personas and mistake them for our true selves. The call to individuation is the call to go beyond these masks and discover the deeper self that exists beneath. The path is not easy. It requires a willingness to step outside of the familiar and confront the unknown. Jung compared this journey to ancient myths, where the hero leaves the ordinary world and ventures into a realm of mystery and danger. Just as in myths, the individual seeking true selfhood must navigate trials, face inner demons, and endure moments of doubt and despair. Yet, with each step taken into the depths of the psyche, greater self-awareness is achieved. The unconscious reveals itself in symbols, dreams, and intuitive insights, guiding the individual toward a more authentic existence. Resistance is natural. The ego, the part of our mind that maintains a sense of control, often resists change. It clings to old identities, fearing what might emerge from the depths. Yet Jung insisted that only by embracing this journey can we become whole. The goal is not to reject the ego, but to integrate it into a larger sense of self, one that acknowledges the unconscious and its wisdom. True individuation is not about becoming someone new, but about uncovering and embracing who we have always been at our core. Facing the shadow is one of the most challenging and necessary steps on the path to individuation. The shadow consists of all the aspects of ourselves that we reject, deny, or repress. These can be negative traits such as anger, greed, or jealousy, but they can also be positive qualities that we have been conditioned to suppress. For example, a person raised in an environment that discourages creativity might repress their artistic abilities, pushing them into the unconscious. Similarly, someone taught to always be agreeable may suppress their assertiveness, leading to resentment and passive aggression. The shadow does not disappear simply because we ignore it. On the contrary, the more we repress it, the more power it gains. It often manifests in ways we do not recognize, such as self-sabotage, projections onto others, or irrational fears. Jung observed that what we refuse to acknowledge in ourselves often appears in the outside world, reflected in our judgments and dislikes. If a person harbors unconscious aggression, they may see the world as a hostile place, constantly encountering conflict and tension. By recognizing these projections, we gain insight into the hidden parts of ourselves. One of the most effective ways to confront the shadow is through self-reflection and dream analysis. Jung encouraged individuals to examine their dreams, as they often reveal hidden aspects of the psyche. Dreams provide symbolic representations of what the conscious mind refuses to see, offering clues to unresolved conflicts and unacknowledged desires. Through active imagination, a technique Jung developed, individuals can engage with their inner images, allowing the unconscious to communicate directly with the conscious mind. Another crucial step in shadow work is to embrace self-acceptance. Many fear that acknowledging their shadow will make them worse, that facing their aggression, envy, or selfishness will cause them to act destructively. Jung, however, argued that repression is far more dangerous. The more we deny our darkness, the more it controls us from the shadows. True integration comes from accepting all aspects of the self, not in a way that indulges destructive behavior, but in a way that brings awareness and responsibility. A person who acknowledges their aggressive tendencies can channel them constructively, using them as a source of strength rather than allowing them to manifest unconsciously in harmful ways. Facing the shadow is not a one-time event, but a lifelong process. As we grow, new aspects of the unconscious reveal themselves, and deeper layers of the psyche come into view. The more we integrate the shadow, the more we free ourselves from unconscious compulsions and destructive patterns. This integration leads to greater wholeness, self-awareness, and inner peace. Instead of being ruled by hidden fears and repressed emotions, we become conscious participants in our own development. The reward for this work is authenticity. By integrating the shadow, we reclaim lost parts of ourselves and step into our full potential. The energy once spent on repression is now available for creativity, purpose, and deeper connections with others. Jung believed that true self-actualization is only possible when we embrace the totality of who we are, the light and the dark, the known and the unknown. The more we accept ourselves, the more we become who we were always meant to be. Carl Jung believed that deep within the human psyche lies a vast and mysterious realm known as the collective unconscious. Unlike the personal unconscious, which contains memories and experiences unique to the individual, the collective unconscious is a shared reservoir of symbols, myths, and archetypes that have been present in humanity for thousands of years. These archetypes are fundamental patterns of human thought and behavior, shaping our perceptions, emotions, and even the way we understand the world. They appear in our dreams, myths, religions, and stories, influencing us in ways we often do not realize. One of the most powerful aspects of the collective unconscious is its ability to communicate through symbols. Throughout history, cultures across the world have told similar stories about heroes, wise mentors, tricksters, and dark villains. These recurring figures are not mere coincidences. They are reflections of the archetypes embedded within the psyche. The hero, for example, represents the individual's journey towards self-discovery and transformation. Whether it is a warrior fighting a dragon or an ordinary person overcoming their deepest fears, the hero's story reflects our inner struggle to grow and evolve. Another important archetype is the wise old man or woman, often appearing as a guide or mentor. This figure represents wisdom, knowledge, and the ability to provide insight during times of difficulty. Characters such as Merlin in Arthurian legend, Yoda in Star Wars, or even an elder figure in one's own life embody this archetype. They appear when the hero is ready to receive guidance and help them uncover deeper truths about themselves. In our personal lives, this archetype can manifest in the form of a teacher, spiritual leader, or even an inner voice that provides wisdom during challenging times. The shadow, which has already been explored, is another crucial archetype, representing the darker and hidden aspects of ourselves. It often appears in myths and dreams as monsters, demons, or antagonistic figures that challenge the hero. The confrontation with the shadow is necessary for growth, as it forces the individual to integrate the parts of themselves they have rejected. By facing this darkness, they move closer to wholeness. Another key archetype is the anima and animus, which represent the feminine and masculine aspects of the psyche. These archetypes influence how we relate to the opposite sex and how we integrate qualities that society often assigns to gender. The anima appears in men as the inner feminine energy, shaping their emotional world, creativity, and ability to connect with others on a deep level. The animus, in women, represents inner strength, logic, and the drive for independence. Understanding these archetypes allows us to see patterns in our own behavior and experiences. Many of the struggles we face in life are reflected in these ancient symbols, offering us a guide to understanding ourselves. By becoming aware of the archetypes influencing our thoughts and emotions, we gain a greater sense of control over our lives. We no longer act out unconscious patterns blindly. Instead, we can consciously engage with the forces shaping our psyche. Jung believed that when we embrace and integrate these archetypes, we move closer to individuation, the process of becoming whole. Rather than being controlled by unconscious forces, we learn to work with them, using their wisdom to navigate our personal journey. The more we understand the symbols and stories that shape us, the more we can live with purpose and authenticity. The collective unconscious is not something to fear, but a powerful source of insight and transformation. Within each person exists a balance of both masculine and feminine energies, regardless of gender. Jung referred to these energies as the anima and animus, and he believed that integrating them is essential for psychological growth and self-realization. Society often conditions individuals to embrace only one side of their nature while suppressing the other. However, true wholeness comes from acknowledging and embracing both aspects of the psyche. The anima is the feminine aspect within the male psyche. It is often associated with intuition, emotion, sensitivity, and creativity. When a man represses his anima, he may struggle with emotional expression, empathy, or connection to his inner world. Instead of embracing his emotions, he may see them as a weakness, leading to emotional detachment or an inability to form deep relationships. The anima often appears in a man's dreams or fantasies as an ethereal woman, a muse, or even a destructive seductress, depending on his relationship with his inner feminine energy. If he ignores or suppresses his anima, it can manifest in unhealthy ways, such as idealizing women, projecting unrealistic expectations onto them, or experiencing intense mood swings. To integrate the anima, a man must develop a relationship with his emotions, creativity, and intuition. This process may involve deep self-reflection, engaging with art or literature that resonates with the feminine principle, or exploring relationships with women in a way that fosters understanding rather than projection. When fully embraced, the anima becomes a source of deep wisdom, emotional intelligence, and inner harmony. A man who has integrated his anima is not controlled by unconscious emotional impulses. Instead, he is in touch with his feelings and able to navigate the complexities of relationships with greater awareness. The animus is the masculine aspect within the female psyche. It represents logic, structure, assertiveness, and the drive for independence. A woman who suppresses her animus may struggle to assert herself, make independent decisions, or trust her own judgment. Instead, she may rely heavily on external validation or avoid conflict out of fear of being seen as too aggressive. In dreams and myths, the animus often appears as a powerful warrior, a king, or even a tyrannical figure, symbolizing the different ways it can manifest in a woman's psyche. If the animus is undeveloped, a woman may experience self-doubt, indecisiveness, or an over-reliance on others for guidance. If it is overly dominant, she may become rigid, overly critical, or disconnected from her emotions. The key to integrating the animus is to cultivate a balance between logic and intuition, strength and sensitivity. A woman who has embraced her animus is able to stand firmly in her power while remaining connected to her emotional depth. She does not need to rely on external authority to define her worth. Instead, she trusts her inner voice and acts with confidence. Both men and women benefit from integrating these inner energies. Jung believed that personal and collective harmony arises when individuals embrace the full spectrum of their being. In relationships, the integration of anima and animus allows for deeper connections, as individuals no longer seek their missing half in others, but instead cultivate wholeness within themselves. The world we live in often reinforces rigid gender roles, discouraging individuals from embracing the full range of their psychological potential. However, true individuation requires breaking free from these limitations and recognizing that both the anima and animus are essential aspects of the self. When we accept and integrate these energies, we move beyond societal expectations and become more authentic, balanced, and whole. The journey of integrating the anima and animus is deeply personal and requires self-awareness, introspection, and the willingness to challenge long-held beliefs. As individuals navigate this process, they unlock new dimensions of themselves, gaining access to greater creativity, emotional intelligence, strength, and wisdom. This integration is not about rejecting one side in favor of the other, but about harmonizing both aspects to create a more complete and authentic self. Jung saw this inner balance as a crucial step in the individuation process. The more we embrace and integrate all parts of ourselves, the more we align with our true nature. Instead of being fragmented, torn between societal expectations and inner desires, we find inner unity. In this state of wholeness, we are no longer limited by unconscious projections or rigid identities. Instead, we move through life with greater confidence, purpose, and self-awareness, becoming who we were truly meant to be. Living as your true self is the ultimate goal of individuation, the process Carl Jung described as integrating all aspects of the psyche to achieve wholeness. This journey is not about perfection or becoming someone entirely new, but rather about uncovering and embracing the deeper, more authentic parts of yourself that have been hidden beneath social conditioning, fear, and unconscious influences. To live as your true self means breaking free from external expectations, recognizing your unique path, and fully stepping into the person you were always meant to be. For many people, the challenge begins with unlearning. From early childhood, we are conditioned by family, culture, and society to adopt certain behaviors and beliefs that may not align with our true nature. We develop personas, masks we wear to fit in, to be accepted, or to avoid conflict. While these personas help us navigate social situations, they can also become prisons, preventing us from fully expressing who we are. The longer we remain trapped in roles that do not align with our authentic selves, the more we experience frustration, emptiness, and a lack of purpose. Breaking free from these conditioned identities requires courage, self-reflection, and the willingness to embrace discomfort. Jung emphasized the importance of self-awareness in this process. To live as your true self, you must first understand yourself deeply, your desires, fears, strengths, and weaknesses. This requires looking within, examining past experiences, and questioning long-held assumptions about who you are and what you truly want. Dream analysis, active imagination, and journaling can be powerful tools for uncovering unconscious aspects of the self. Paying attention to recurring themes in your dreams, the symbols that appear in your thoughts, and the emotions you suppress can reveal important insights about your inner world. One of the most powerful steps in this journey is learning to embrace and integrate the shadow. Many people fear facing their hidden aspects, believing that acknowledging their darker emotions, thoughts, and impulses will make them worse. However, Jung argued that repression only strengthens the shadow, making it more likely to influence our lives in unconscious and destructive ways. True self-acceptance comes from recognizing that every aspect of ourselves has value. Even the traits we once deemed negative, such as anger, fear, or vulnerability, contain energy and wisdom that can be used constructively. When we stop resisting these parts of ourselves and instead work with them, we gain a sense of inner freedom and self-mastery. Another crucial element of living as your true self is aligning your life with your inner values and purpose. Many people spend years chasing external validation, following paths that others expect of them, only to realize that they feel unfulfilled. Individuation requires asking deep and sometimes difficult questions. What truly matters to me? What kind of life do I want to live? Am I making choices based on fear or authenticity? Answering these questions may require making significant changes, leaving a career that no longer aligns with your passions, setting boundaries in relationships that no longer serve your growth, or pursuing creative and spiritual paths that nourish your soul. While these changes can be challenging, they lead to a more meaningful and fulfilling existence. Authentic living also involves embracing both the masculine and feminine energies within. Whether through integrating the anima or animus, or simply balancing action with reflection, logic with intuition, and strength with compassion, we create a more harmonious and well-rounded approach to life. When these inner energies are in balance, we no longer seek external validation to complete us, nor do we feel torn between conflicting desires. Instead, we operate from a place of wholeness, where our decisions come from deep inner wisdom rather than external pressure. One of the greatest rewards of individuation is the sense of inner peace that comes from living in alignment with who you truly are. Instead of constantly battling against yourself or feeling lost in societal expectations, you move through life with a sense of confidence and authenticity. Relationships become deeper and more meaningful, as you are no longer seeking to impress or conform, but are instead connecting from a place of truth. Creative expression flows more naturally, as there are no longer internal barriers blocking your true voice. Life itself takes on a sense of purpose and richness, as you are no longer just existing, but truly living. Living as your true self does not mean you will never experience struggles or setbacks. The path of individuation is a lifelong journey, with new challenges and opportunities for growth always emerging. However, once you have embraced the process and committed to authenticity, these challenges no longer feel like obstacles to avoid, but rather opportunities for deeper self-discovery. Each experience, whether joyful or painful, becomes a teacher, guiding you further along the path of self-realization. Jung believed that the process of individuation is not just a personal journey, but also a collective one. When individuals embrace their true selves, they contribute to the greater whole by bringing their unique gifts and insights into the world. Society benefits when more people live authentically, as they are able to inspire, heal, and create in ways that uplift others. In this way, living as your true self is not just about personal fulfillment, but also about making a meaningful impact on the world. The journey to becoming who you were meant to be is one of courage, self-reflection, and deep inner work. It requires letting go of fear, embracing all aspects of yourself, and making choices that align with your truth. While the path may not always be easy, it is the only one that leads to true fulfillment and wholeness. By embracing this journey, you step into the life you were always meant to live. One of authenticity, purpose, and profound inner freedom.